Yes, good evening. Shall we start? Okay. That we'll wait for some time and then we'll start today.
Yes, sir.
Think that we can start now. Okay. So good evening everyone. And my name is MD Asid Reza. I am PMRF scholar in the Department of Mechanical Engineering in Tiruchirappalli. and like I'm going to take the session for the course of that machine learning for engineering and science application. And till now we are in that the middle, like that the sixth week of this course. And till now we have discussed like I started with the fundamentals and then all we went. And the last class we started with that neural that the network. And then today we are going to start with the CNN. If you have some idea and all, like CNN, actually it's that advanced or like it's a complex that the neural network that's going to so it's going to especially work on what I can say look on the image basis. So anyone have the idea like how the CNN going to work or any doubt till now, like from the first week to sixth, like sixth week, like till this week. Like if you have some doubt and all, you can ask. Like with the last class, we have seen that ANN part and all how to calculate the activation. And this course, you might have had you might have got the idea like how the course is proceeding from here. So like how we are going ahead with that. Instead of going not going with directly taking that the some raw data, random data, and then we are playing with the data and all. And what we are going to do, like we are checking the maths so that we can play with the black box. How can we change the weights? How can we change with the activation or maybe the other parameters and all? So that that the ones you are going to do the some sort of real time application or real time that implementation for your data, so that you can play with that. Because sometime the data will be different types will be there. Sometimes the data will be very noisy will be there, and some other data will be there. So that
No, your picture is shown so many times
okay,
inside,
fine,
like
fine. I'll go. So I think this will be fine. Is it?
yes, yes.
Yeah. So that the what I was saying, like I'm trying to say, like in the first week, what we have done, we have went through that what is the machine learning, how it going to help, and then where it can be application part and all that we can see around. And so as you all know that it's a machine learning, it's an extension of like that what we are working for the optimization problems and all. But to deal with the optimization problems and all that, we should have the idea of that foundation for the mathematics, like foundation for the machine learning. Actually, it's like nothing that we have to deal with the algebra and statistic will be there. In this statistic will be coming that our probability part also. And then additionally, we have to deal about the optimization problem also.
You are from which institute?
Like
IISc
I am
Bangalore,
from NIT Trichy.
NIT Tiruchi. Okay,
Yeah. And
great.
I'm doing my research area like somewhere around that the biomedical application, and we are doing the fatigue predictions and all. So area is aligned with that. So if you have any doubt, like so you can ask around, and then and uh, we are going in the flow itself. Like we are dealing started with the machine learning algebra, then went with the probability, then went with the optimizers that optimizations and all. Then that what are the packages that we have around. So we were having for the MATLAB package was there. Then we went for the Python was there. Then the TensorFlow, the packages and all was there. And then you check with the bias and variances, like where when the bias is low or the variance is high, what will happen? Maybe the underfitting or the overfitting that we have seen one curve actually like this. That will the optimal parameter. This zone will be like our underfitting zone will be there, and this zone will be our overfitting zone will be there. So this is how we can do the optimize. Like we have to get either the bias should be very low, or that the value should not be very high also. So in that case, like we have to come up with some optimum value. So that will be this will be the optimum value will be there. So if this side will become overfitting, this side will become the underfitting and all. Then we have checked with the gradient descent. Gradient descent is nothing. If you see for the calculus, we came across the first derivative and all. Just 1 minute, I'll check. So anyone want to join because I have to see. Check with the sounds also if sounds are coming on. And then after we started with that fifth week, then last class we have to deal with NN. NN is nothing like it's the neural network was there. In that also we have checked about the forward that method, and then we went for the back propagation also. So if we have some complex problem or the multiple weights or multiple layers will be there, so that will become the deep learning. And if you want to check with the multiple layers, what we have to do, we have to get the all activation of weights value so that the forward propagation will not going to work it out, because it's going to one. So the calculation will be bit of difficulty, or the complexity will be become it's going to be more. So then we came across the back propagation, like it's we are going to start from the last, like the output, and then we'll get with the applying the chain rule, we'll get like with the so with the help of the chain rule we can get the wait for the each that the layers and all. So today is actually that we are going to deal about the convolutional, like the neural network, and in that also we'll see what are the operators, that is the operations are there, and then we have the architectures are there, like it's the architecture like will be the lanet is there, then VGG are there, then we have one more like that is that RENC, that is a residual that the network was there, and others are also there. Dense net are also there. That we will see that how with the help of the architecture that we can play around. And in the conventional, like it's the if you see around, see that the image will be the our input source will be there. If you see in the neural network, so in that it will be the matrix or vector form that will be the input will be there. But in this, what will be there? Will be having the image, and image from the image what we are going to convert into the tensor, and the tensor is going to into the our that the model will be there. So in that also we'll be having different types of because sometimes when we'll give the we have the different types of the input, like data can be there for the CNN, 1D data, 2D data, and then 3D data. So 1D data is like something that will be that is normal, or maybe the 2D will be the grayscale will be there, like it's a black and white. And if it comes to the 3D data, so it's become the RGB. RGB will be the color picture, like it's going to red, green, and be like that blue will be there. So in that also, like how we can do the pooling, or in that pooling also we have the max pooling or average pooling, and even we'll be having that what you can say sharing will be there, feature sharing will be there, and all will be there. So that will check around this lecture. So in this today lecture, we'll be going to mostly discuss about the CNN operation, what is the CNN and all, where it can be used, and how it can go, like how we can go ahead with that and all. Okay, so we'll come across like what is the actually what is the CNN. Anyone have the idea? Can you please tell what is the CNN actually? CNN is a,
Convolution neural network.
yeah, conversation, so that neural network, it's the extension of like it's the, so that the neural network will be there. And in that, especially that our input will be the image, instead of that we have to give the vector traffic and all, it will be the tensor will be there. And this is going to be like a deep neural network that it is there. So okay. And in this also we have like it's a special type of the NN actually. NN is nothing like artificial neural. It's going to work like a brain and all. And image will be the, as an input. Where that we can use like a brain tumor, or maybe any that the biomedical field will be there. I have to check around by get the sound notification sound so that people who are waiting they can join and all. Okay, so in that also that so that like the ANN that what we are having, we have the multiple neurons or activations will be there, weights will be there, and same way that we'll be having the objective functions or the loss functions will be there. In that also loss function or objective functions that we have to get the optimized value and all. We are having that Adam optimizer and all is there, that we have seen around what is that exactly already, but we so in that also we'll be having the, since the input is image, so it will allow that the modification to the architecture that, so what we can do, so we can do the that is a sparse, that is a sparse connections also, that we'll see around that how the sparse connections is there. So it will be something one will be there, and then from that we have the multiple x1, x2, x3. So it will be like go like this only. It's and only one s2, s3, and again s1. So for one, it will go, so it will become the sparse connections. If the same thing, it's going for the one, all, three, four, again here, from here, here. So it will become the ANN part and all. So in this, what will be there for one weight or when activation can be shared with the multiple neurons. But the case of the ANN, it's not going to share it with the others and all. Like it will not share with that. So that's what will come across the sharing and all, and the weights are shared between the output neuron in the hidden layers and all. So that is that what is the main difference in there in the CNN and all. So if you talk about the where we can use it, where we can use actually, it's used we can do the computer vision or the image analysis and all. So it becomes that image recognition is there. Let's say we had a zebra is there. So this is a picture actually that will take like I will show you the architecture also that's how it will be actually looking like and all. Then we'll be having rectilinear like that activation will be there. Then so pooling will be there. Then again fully connected layer will become. Then it will come the output pictures and all become. And even the semantic image analysis also I told like brain tumor or maybe any other biomedical that we need the imaging processing and all that we can show around. So will come. So actually, it's like in that like what is the structured data will look like. It's going to be image like we'll take from the picture or mobile and all. So it can be of like anything, maybe zebra, cat, and anything. Spectrogram, if we are aware of the signal processing and all, signal processing. If you see the spectrogram, like it will give the pictures in terms of the time frequency representation. It's nothing. It's like something that will give the where the power is there and we'll be having the frequency will be there and their intensity it will shown as a, some sort of like that on the gradient will be there so that become your red, this is going to blue, so their intensity will be shown based upon this, so that image will be going to give, so that image will be the input. And CWT scaleogram. CWT is again part of signal processing also that will tell continuous wavelet transform. So from there that we have some signals are there. So if it is going to convert into by using the CWT, we'll get one picture. So it will be again the same way that we are getting for the spectrograms and all. So instead of that manual feature extraction, so they are going to learn feature automatically. So if I'll say like what will be the basic structure of the CNN and all. So let's say this is our like the input is there. It's a zebra picture is there. So here we have the kernels. Kernels is something like what will be having the input feature. If you see about in the ANN, so input feature will be whatever they will be giving one, two, three, the handicraft feature. Maybe let's say I have, let's say I'm working on some signal and I have a time domain feature. So let's say it's a RMS. Let's say it's that the mean, maybe the curtosis and all. Second feature can be the frequency domain. Frequency domain is nothing like it's a MDF, like it's going to be a medium frequency, MNF, or maybe the power expected density and all. So once this feature is going to feed it into the some model, so it will become the input for the any model. So it becomes the like ANN. But the kernel is something like it's going to take ages. Like let's say based upon the one feature, I'm saying about I have to classify between the zebra or the horse or maybe the dog. So what we'll do, we're going to give, we'll take some feature or maybe the kernel, one kernel, two kernel, three kernel. Kernel is something that we are going to specify one, two, three. Instead of that for the ANL, we are going to give each and every that picture of that whole picture means that features of the whole thing. In that kernel, it will going to minimum. So it become the like the complexity or the computational power that we need. It become the less compared to the other that the model we have we having. Then so then after we are going to do the convolution. Like we are going to convert into the tensor flow, and we are going to give some weights and all. Once the weight got, so what will happen? We are doing the pooling. Let's say it was something like a 64 by 64 by was there, and we have the three color was there. So 64 by 64 by three, and three channel was there. Let's say RGB. So now it becomes so there 64 64 it will become some more like 1 to 9 something will become. Now we'll do the pooling. Pooling what they will try to do, they will try to reduce the sample, reduce the feature for that. Again we'll do the pooling. Again we'll do the pooling. So it will going to again they're going to reduce the feature. Like pooling is something like we're going to take that all same similar group in the one pool. So that is the one term in like I can say in that in the layman language. We'll see what types of the pooling that so that the pooling are there. That we have the max pooling, we have the average pooling and all there. So once it came across, so we'll be coming across the flatten layer. Flatten layer that will get the optimized value. Optimized value. Like we'll be having like let's say I from here we came across some 100 feature we got. So now will be try to like from the fully credited layer, it will go into fully credited layer. It's from there will be try to get all optimum value. Let me say 60, 70, that's the most important. And then this fully connected layer is going to work. FC is going to work like a classification. Then they are going to give the results based upon the probability distribution or maybe the softmax accuracy function. So that softmax function can be or the loss function can be a different like softmax will be there or maybe that Adam is there or any other that loss function can be there. So this is the full like if you see that like overall picture. So this whole architecture will say the feature extraction, then the classification, then we got the output. Input was there, feature extraction. This is the classical that machine learning methods what we have. So in the feature extraction itself, we'll be having different types of the like a conversation that is the ReLU was there, and we have to do the pooling and all. Then become the flatten, then we're going to classify and all. It's a overall picture that we can see around. So coming to the next part, like how the things will look like. Sorry. So that's the how the things will look like. Like we are going to do like they are going to identify simple feature and more layer are added. So what they will do like once they could do that they're going to like increase the complexity. Images are there, and what we'll do they're going to give the filter. Filter is something not just the kernel will be there. So edge kernel will be there that so that I'll show to you, and then we are going to simplify. Simplify it will become the pooling. So they're going to reduce the complexity and then it will give the clear picture or maybe they will give the better they will give the texture or shapes will be there. When I'll say like when one is the input will be there, input like we all know what is there, image are there. Then we'll be having the convolution layer. They will give the idea of feature. I told like edges, texture, shapes will be there. Then after the pooling level will be there. Pooling layer, what they will do that they will so they will try to feature map. Then after they are going to reduce the dimensionality. Then after the fully connected layer will be there. Fully. So whatever the downsample feature or the reduced feature what we have, I'll just check whether I'm not getting the notification when people are getting. Fine. Okay, this thing I'll see like how the back propagation is going to work. How back propagation is going to be better than the feed forward. I'll tell you like how it's going to it going to helpful as compared to that one. Uh, I'll tell you now itself. We'll go later. Let's say what we have. Let's say what we have. The one feature is there. Then we'll be having some. It's going to be like some activation is there, or maybe summation is there. Then activation is there. Then it's going to Y. So what we try to do will be going to use the like difference limit difference will be there. So we'll be going to use x plus h minus xh plus h will be there, f of h will be there. So we have to get for the all layers and all. But in the case of what you can say back that the propagation will be having the weight, then we'll be having the activation. So what we'll do, we'll be going to do like a dy by da w and dw by that is sigma function will be there. So we can use the chain rule. So with the single that the calculation itself we can get the weight. But the thing is that for getting for the forward we have to go for the each and every weights like separately. So so that the calculation will become more like it will become the what means that we have to do the more calculation. It's going to that we can do that's easy only. But the thing is that the computational power that we need that will become more as compared to the back like that the back propagation. I think hopefully that will be clear actually. Okay, fine. So where we were last time, like the fully connected layer. I'll just remove that part. So that down sample is going to be like for the classification model that will set the classification label. It can be used through that Adam optimizer and then the some learning rate and some other things will be there. Then we can get the output and all. That the next like how the things will look like. So that the feature map is there. Feature map is something like we got from that well, yeah, 1 minute. So that will become that convolution. So we have the plenty of the things will be there. So now there from the pooling or the filtering, we can get that what you can say edges, or texture, or the shape based upon the intensity of that wheel. So once again the question becomes that how we are going to classify like how the things are coming up. So it's like RGB one things are there. So red, green, blue are there. For each we have for different color we have the different intensities are there. So based upon the intensity, so there the color is going to change it out and all. So if we're going to connect three kernel or four kernel or one kernel or 10 kernel based upon that for that particular, let's say I have this one image is the Java image is there. So I'll take one kernel here, one kernel here, one kernel here. So based upon that, intensity will change, and based upon that, we'll get the our RGB value and all. If it is gray, means black and white is there, or maybe that 1D will be the again, then the 3D will be the RGB things will become seeing the pictures and all. So how the things will go, how the things will look like. Just say we have the block one convolution, like we have the input, we'll be having the convolution like in that also we have the block 1 block 2 block 3 block 4 block 5. But what we are trying to do, we are trying to do the down sampling is something reducing the dimensionality. I think because today we are, if you go around, okay, sorry, that that my voice is audible now.
Yes, it is audible.
Sorry, because I was having the habit of to use the like 14-inch laptop, but now I changed the laptop because the two thick laptop it runs in some other way. Okay, fine. So we'll go where we were. We were like today we'll be mostly discussing about the CNN operations, how the things will change in architecture. So in that we'll explain like how we are going to do the downsampling and all. In the next class, we'll see more of the how the training is going to happen, transfer learning and all that we'll see around. So we'll come back to here. So the thing is that they are going to do the downsampling. Just 1 minute. So what they're trying to do, we have like when we give the input and all, then we'll give the edges, texture or shape or the based upon the filter where we're going to select it and all. So in the last, it will look like this, means like it's going to be optimized or feature map. Then it will become the then it will go to the fully connected layer. Then it will become that our output whatever we need for the classification. So now just come across like what we have to do, like it's a single classification or maybe that no object, just a pixel will be there. Or it can be a single object, like it's a classification, semantic segmentation or classification plus localization, object detection that's also we can do around, then or instance segmentation and all. It's a multiple like that's the multiple object will be there. So we know that so classification we have seen for the linear regression, not then that linear regression, it's a logistic regression. In that also we have seen the binary classification or maybe the the classification we have seen from and all. So I told like where it can be used around so that we can use in the image analysis in the biomedical. So it's MR, like it's that the magnetic that the resonance image will be there. Magnetic image will be there. So then we are going to find out like we'll be giving the filters will be going to place at some place like we as a like a clinician or the doctor they'll be having the idea like how the things will look like for a like a patient or those who are having tumors and also they'll try to put the kernel there. Then we'll get that whether before like now or after 6 months or after 10 months, whether it's increasing or decreasing, so that we can do through the image analysis and all. So now it's very important, like in the current time, like people are doing with this, that the tumor, the growth and all that we're checking around with the CNN only. And we were having the image net challenges also there. So if we see around, so that 1,000 plus will be there, billion training image will be there, report top five prediction accuracy. Like will we go in with the CNN architecture? We'll be checking from that how much training or how much that training like 1 million or 100 million or 128 million will be there. Like how it will come also we'll see because RGB 64 by 64 three channel it's coming, and in three channel also we are going to give the convolution, that layer will be giving 128 or like maybe 16 also. It depends upon the like how much that the neuron we are giving. So that the number is going to multiply. In the last, eventually it will become the 1 million training data and all. Then what we have the side window, then the hatchet is there, strip is there and all. So what they'll try to do like that the model try to that the mimic the things, or either they will be giving the human error is a 5%, but they will try to not much, not humans are not trained enough. So then what we have image like it's something that a 1,000 class object, 1 million training, and then 100K test will be there. So might are there, might like it's like something. So their accuracy will be much more. So again, the question will be coming when we'll go to CNN, what will be the evaluation matrices? That will be coming after. We are having the precision, accuracy, R1 score, or what we have the area under the curve, and all even the confusion matrix will be that all we can see around. Accuracy, precision, and all will be there. Then we have the continuous ship will be there. So that the classical accuracy, that's how it will look like. So it will be like we'll be going the then the motor scooter, leopard, cherry, that the Madagascar like Madagascar cat, then the mushroom, then the grill will be there, and all will be there. So now we can see around like in that we have the exception model. That one we have the model will be there. That will be in the image net and all. And so in that accuracy, top one accuracy will be the 0.79, then top five accuracy will be the 0.945. And if you see around the parameter, we can see around that's a 1, 2, 3. So it's somewhere 22 lakhs, like 22 millions will be there. So that's how the things will coming in now. So it's a different types of the CNN architecture is there. In that also we will see the VGG 16 will see. We'll see around the dense net also, dense net 121 will see. And then we have the exchange also. And then that residual network also is there. It's a straightforward model. So where and the which one we have to apply it on. What they will do, like they will going to apply that the multiple convolution layer with the fix that the dimensions, or we can say that that's the dimensions will be there, and they are going to improve the efficacy or maybe the accuracy of the model. So now we're coming to the image parameterization. Let's say I'm saying that for CNN, my input is actually an image. So that image can be how it will look like. It can be a black and white. So that's the gray scale image will be there. So it's called 2D picture. 2D picture, like it will be not like much more. The things will be there. Like a channel will be two channel will be there. So then after we'll be going to do the kernel and deciding things and will all will be there. Then what we have the RGB image will be there. RGB is something we'll talk about the 3D image. 3D image will be like we'll be having one things will be there. Then RGB. Then for red the pixel will be different. For green the pixel will be different, and for the blue the pixel will be different. And then it will convert it into the again grayscale, and then it will come to pooling. Then it will go to the, I'm going to click fully connected layer. Then will again will go to the they're going to classify whether what is that. Again, I'm saying like we are saying CNN actually till now we are here only talking about what we can say classification only. CNN is actually put a classification problem only. And if we talk about the temporal learning, so we have to introduce some other things like LSTM will be there, or maybe temporal, like it's a long term, short term that the memory that the model will be there and all will be there. So that will be going to do the prediction instead of classifications and all. So based upon the applications, so we have to come across the which when we have to go around. Let's say I want to just classify the zebra, dog, and like horse or cat. So we can go with the CNN classification. We'll be giving the picture. We'll take picture. I'll take it out, and then I'll be just going to give the architecture. Based on the architecture, we're going to define the fully connected layers, and we'll classify. We'll be able to classify. So the thing is that the people say why can't we go for the neural that's the what you can say regular uh, that's the neural network. So Aiden is going to take vector as input, product as output, another hidden layer vector carefully connected to the output. For a small image, the number of weights of parameter to be estimated are not large, but consider this much of that what we can say RGB image. Let's say I'm saying about for a small image, it can be 64 by 64 or single that will be go or it can be go one. So for this problem we don't have much issue because it will not going to give much feature map will not comes much like a very large number because the training will go in the lakhs or in the crore also. So once, but if you go with the RGB image and it's a 224 or 227 to get the 55 by 55 in that art we can say rectified like linear that the unit now. So in that like it will going to be like so for the single neuron it will become the that much weight will become. So what will happen, so for a single neuron it will become the number of weights will explode. So that to store that one, we need more memory, computation time, and the data also. So what will happen when we are going to give RGB with the or maybe image to the ANN model or some other model? So what will happen? The number of data because they are taking that input as a like that we can say the vector. As we all know that we can convert from image to the tensor. Tensor is nothing but a vector only. It's a higher order vector only. So what will happen, it's a vector only, but it will become like so they need to store that much of data or weights. They need more memory, more computation time, or maybe the data also. So Siren is going to exploit the structure, like they're going to sparse connection. Like for one weight, we can give to the whole, like of the weights and all, we can give it out and all. Then also we can do the parameter sharing between the output neuron. Like in the case of ANL, we can't share the things and all, but in this we can share the parameter sharing. It's a one more feature that we have for the CNN now. So we'll come into the CNN, that the layer and then the operation. So like the regular ANN, Seren is going to stack up the sequence of the layer followed by an input layer classification. Like ANN will be having like that one hidden layer, second hidden layer, then it will go third layer. We will going to calculate for each layer the weight and activation function, because that one will be that's going to linear. Like it will become the like summations and all. Then it will become the weight will be the non-linear, and then it will go to classify, but the thing is that here it's a sequence of the layer followed by an input layer. Like we'll be having that convolution layer one, block two, block three. Then we'll do the pooling. Then we'll go with like we'll do the other things. Like we'll be going with the flattening, and then it will come finally and all. So it will become the it's a part of deep learning. That in and all it will become like we have to go with like we have the for each hidden layer we'll be having single weights will be, but that here we can share, then we have the convolutional layer and pooling layer are alternatively stacked, leading to a series of the fully connected layer followed by a output layer, another 3D volume following a convolutional pooling. Like it's something again it was like how it started image, then the convolutional layer, pooling, then it will go into a fully connected layer, then the finally it will down. So in this also we can have the block one, block two, block three, block four in order to be there. So it will CNN takes an image, so it becomes the volume. For the example, RGB volume or sub volume of the 3D medical image for the each layer output. Constant contrast to the ANN where the output from each layer is another vector of the neurons. So if you see around how the things will look like it's a CNN layers, it's a convolution layer or the RGB volumes are there. So it's going to from here, then it's going to output volume. It's a bunch of the data will be there. It can be there, but what we have to do, we have to do the pooling and all. And here the grayscale. RGB is the three channel. Here is the single channel. Channel it came across, then it from here it will become the pooling, then if it cut layer, then it will come to the next part. So again, how that inspired from the biological inspiration all. So we can see the series of study that major activation in the neural cell, that visual cortex will be there. It might be getting repeating and all, but the thing is that so I'm trying to explain the whole picture that the will look like. And simple cells, like it's the what is there, we have uh, a image or any area, the once they are going to activate or we're going to pinch it out and all based upon the threshold, they are going to give the brain input and all. Then from there like it's going to come into the that multiple neurons. Then we are going to get the sense of okay what's happening there, take as an input acquisition from the simple cells and produce a rectified output invariant to the translation. So this is how these things will come from the picture. So again, I told like how it's going to be like edge detection. Edge detection is something like we have the image, so we'll be going with the this texture or the shape and all. Then input will be there. Then we are going to define the kernel, either one or minus one, or maybe that two, three kernel based on the kernel that how much number of kernels that we need. So then after it's going to be like show like this one, then it will be the output. So what we're trying to do, we are not going to, instead of going for the full image, we are going to define the kernel like it's an input with edge and all. Will we simplify on that, and then we are going to train the model based upon the edge itself or based upon the kernel itself. So now we'll talk about what are the operations that we can do in the convolution. So consider a scenario that location is specific with the laser sensor. Like as we know, the sensor can be noisy. As I am using the EMG, that's called electromyography. Electromyography is there. So what will happen? Electromyography is coming from the muscles. So if you're going to, they are generating the voltage with respect to the time. But the thing is that when you put the sensor on the muscles, so their intensity is comparatively low, what we'll be getting for the vibrations and other sensors and all. So sometimes that the output voltage and all it can be the noisy, or sometimes that noisy data itself is going to useful for us because the muscles where because we can't they're going to once we're going to generate the muscles it will do like this with the muscles, so they're going to give with the electrical activation, that's going to be a electrical signal. Based upon that they're going to be like in the case of that going to millivolt and somewhere in that in that range it will go, but the same thing in for that range it will become the that the noise and all. So, but it was we can't do the accurate estimation is not possible. So we'll go with the weighted average of the locomotion can provide that's the good estimate. So that's the like that the difference method will be there. And in the neural, what will be there? Terminology X will be counted as an input, W is the kernel, output is referred as a feature map and all. That feature map, like how we got it, we all know that like we were having the image, then kernel, the feature image, feature map came, like it's become the higher, the size was there. Then we have done the pooling, so it become the less size. Then again we have done the pooling to simplify and all. It become until that we were able to get the best optimum parameters and all based on the training. So in the neural net that the network multidimensional and so is the kernel. This so that is going to transfer as a refer as a tensor, and it's going to be like in the kernel flip is not possible. Like for the n and all like wait as it can go back, but here it can it that we can't do the flipping. Like once it went in the forward, like it will go into the forward only and all. So now we'll come to the 2D convolution, like how it will look like. Let's say I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like it's something 4 by 3 matrices are there. And this is that we have 2 by 2. The, but once you do the polling, so we are going to take 2 by 2, 2 by 2. So 2 by 2 will take just 1, 2, 3. So this will become 3 by 2. Okay. So how they're doing? AW, AW plus BX. Similar way what we were trying to do for the matrix multiplications and all. Because it's a bit of complex. It was earlier 4 by 3. So now it become 3 by 2. Again, similarly, it can go further ahead with that and all. So for the first one, this will give the one picture. Now, whatever this is there, so now we'll take second one. This one. So BW plus CX plus FY plus GZ. So that's how it will going to convert into the like it's something we are doing the convolution like it's trying to get the feature maps and all. So what is that? They're going to exploit the sparse interaction. Sparse interactions, like it's called connectivity and all, parameter sharing or equivalent representation. Equivalent means like the variant will be not. If you're going to change from this to this, so their feature or the property will not change. So here the same thing. Every output neuron is connected to a small neighborhood in the input with the weighted matrix. It's called filter or kernel. So we can define that multiple kernel also for every convolution layer or each giving rise to an input. And each filter is around the input give rise to the one 2D output and output corresponding to each filter are stacked, giving rise to the an output form. It's something that what I'm trying to say, like each of the denominator connected with the small, it's going to with the weighted filter or maybe the kernel. So that kernel can be I told one, two, three based on the what how much that is the point of the interest what we have. And once we're going to do from there, so that the input and then it becomes the kernel here So it's going to simplified version, stacked simplified version. So now, so then the question that what is the sparse interaction? Sparse interaction is something like when we do traditional that the matrix, they will do the matrix multiplication to discover the how output and input are going to related. But the thing is that this may be every output unit track with the every input unit. Like it's a one to one. It can't they can't share or they can go with the others and all. So, but the convolution uses a small kernel. I told like in that input can be a six parameter, like six feature in the hand counter feature will be there. Just 1 minute. Okay, so what is there? The thing is that by instead of this much number of feature, we are going to take the kernel significant reduction in number of parameter. Parameter is nothing like it's a feature will be there. Computing output require the few comparison. For example, if there is m input and n output, traditional that the neural so that the neutral will be going to m by n parameter. But the thing is that for each output connected with the k most unit, number parameter will be going to a k by n. Okay, so it's going to be like somehow when processing an image, the input image might have thousand or million of the pixel that I told like it can be an image, it can make like different contrast and all that can be done. That we all know that any of the image with any colors we can convert into the RGB. RGB is something like it's that intensity or the pixel intensity and all. But we can like detect a small meaningful feature such as edge with the kernel. I don't like edge feature or a kernel. So that occupy only 100, 10 or 100 of the pixels. It means they're going to store few parameters. The thing is that their chances will be there will be some point of time. Let's say I am like some person going with the brain tumor, like maybe that any tumor is going on. So tumor source point we all know that the thing is that it's not going to spread like anything. It will spread at some point of time. So what will happen if I'm going to take the MRI? So MRI it will be going to take let's say for an it came some 1 by 1 feet or maybe like 5 by 5 inch. That but the thing is that our point of interest is somewhere here only. So if we are going with the whole feature, what will happen? They're going to store more number of feature. So instead of going that one, so we'll take a kernel. This point of context will say kernel. It's the filtering and all we'll do, and then we'll be getting so instead of giving or like in that is storing the whole data, we'll be taking from the kernel data, and then we're going to train it, and we'll classify whether the just a minute.
Your voice stopped.
Yeah, yeah. I just 1 minute, like it's got.
Hello, there is a break.
Yeah, just 1 minute. No, so now it's fine.
Now fine.
Yeah, actually, the PPT got stuck. I think hopefully it's fine. So this means that like we are going to store fewer that the fewer parameter compared to the what we are going to take full image that I told like it can be of million or pic like of thousand of the pixels will be there. So it's going to unnecessarily increase the our compression time and then storage or the memory, you know. So it's going to improve the statistical efficiency also. It means computing the output requires fewer operations. You know. So that is the purpose that we are going to do the sparse interactions or maybe the kernel methods or filtering methods and all. So again, someone will ask like that if I'm going with the CNN and all, so whether you are going with the full image analysis or the thing. So then again we have to tell like no, like it's again if the point of interest we have to go with the each and every point of the image that we can go with that we can define the kernel as much number that we can define the kernel. But the thing is that once we have the point of contact that we know for the biomedical that people are working on, let's say for a muscles that I'm going with the MRI, and once they're going to take the MRI that MRI for the thigh. But the thing is that the some image or the muscle fracture happen at the some point. What we'll try to do, we'll be going to define, we'll take three kernel or maybe the edge kernel or somewhere. Then we'll be giving the things and then we'll get the better results. Better results means like we can get the better results for the full data also, but the thing is that unnecessarily the competition is going to increase. So that's why we have to that our model or the machine learning trying to simplify, not the complexity. Like it's not going to increase the complexity and all. Okay, so that's how it will look like a Spark connectivity. So we'll see, like here, I'll be showing like we're going to highlight X3. X3 we have highlighted here. Then after and S that we have highlighted that could affected with the all three. So when the S is formed with a conversation with the kernel of width 3, so only three output are affected by the X. So we'll take from here, we'll go one, two, three. We highlighted one, two, three. So three kernel. But the thing is that once we go for the ANN, they will go with the full here, here also, here also, here also, here also. Miss each and every. The full. So then after so it will come the when S is formed by the matrix multiplication. Multiplication, so it's come the part of the ANN. So again, one more term is coming into the picture, like what we have the receptive field. Receptive field, anyone have the idea what is that? Will tell when the when we're going to highlight the input unit X in the affect this unit. So this so that unit, whatever the unit is going to affected from the maybe the sparse. So that will say receptive field. When it is formed by the conversion with the kernel with three input affect S3. So here we have this output. This is the input. Then it's going from the here only. So it will become again the kernel of width 3. Like here, what I did from one input that we took from here, what we've done, like one, two, three output can be there. Like it's a some like simply I'm saying like S. So output so that the unit from the here three input unit one kernel one that output is going to affected. So that will say like kernel of bit tree. So that is the point of like sparse connectivity and all. So that's how the things is going to maintain. Like what will happen when we'll go with this. So we have to calculate the weight for a whole. If you go to like here, then again here, then it will become the output. Like it will become in the case of n, and if you see the for the last class alone. So if we talk about like in a deep CNN, units in the deeper layer may indirectly interact with the larger proportion of the input. Like that, the inner layer can be direct. Like it can go with the like bigger input also. This allow that the network to effectively discover the complicated interaction between the variables by constructing the such interactions. It's called sparse connectivity and all. So so how it went from here one, two, three, four, then it came from here, here also, here also, here also, here also. But it again I'll be saying it not going from X1 that I'm not going with the H5. From X1 I'm not going for the H4. It means it's not going with the each and every. So it is not the part of ANN. It's not going to be part of ANN. It's just something like we're going to with the some whatever the input or interaction it's going to make for the better our efficiency of the model. So it will become so it will become like either direct connection or the indirect connections and all. So again one more term is the parameter sharing. Parameter sharing is again will telling like it's for the NN case and all. What they will do, they're not going to for each element the weight matrix is used exactly once. They can't go for the fewer bundle. So refer to the using the same parameter for more than one function in a model. So by the term or by the name itself, parameter sharing is something that will be one function can be used for the multiple that the model or maybe the multiple places we can use it our model. So what will happen? So it is multiplied by the one element of the input and then never revisited. This is the like typical neural network will be there. But the thing is that parameter sharing, one can say that a network has a tied weight because the value of the weight applied to the one input is tied to the value of the elsewhere. That we'll be seeing around once where it's going to help it out. So in CNN, each member of the kernel is used every position. Each each member of the kernel is used at every position, except that somewhere we're not going to use the boundary pixel. Because the thing is that to avoid this, what we have to come across the padding, or maybe the zero padding, or to increase the dimension. Because what's happening sometime, like we'll be going with the we have the image we took, and then we given the convolutional, that the layer one, and it came some that the reduced feature. No, after that we have done the pooling. Once we have done like done the pooling, so it becomes the critical effect or the feature or texture at the side also. So what we do, we'll do the padding. Padding means something we are going to apply. Zero padding we'll do it. The size we are going to increase the dimension. Increase the dimension, we are going to increase the dimensions and all. So boundary pixels, that place will not do. So parameter sharing actually that used by the convolution operation means that rather than learning separate set of parameter for every location, we learn only set. So it means like for each and every parameter or for each the thing, we are not going to learn for each and every, but we're going to we'll learn one time, and then with that we're going to share for the each model or each step and also. So how the things will look like here. So actually once we'll do this thing, parameter sharing, so it's not going to affect the runtime on the forward propagation. It is still going to be a k by n, but it does further reduce the storage requirement. Like again, said for the neural network, what they will do for each model or for each layer, we have the one weights will be there, and so it will become the like it's going to piled up or stacked up. But the thing is that here one weight can be for the others also, like point one and give here, so point one will be going here also. So that will going to work it out. So if it's go k is going to usually several order of the magnitude less than the m, since m and n are usually roughly going to same size. So k is practically insignificant compared to the m by n. Like it's a m by n. This is the matrix for a and n. It can be of like bigger 64 by 64, or maybe the 128 by 128, 224 or 227 by 227 can be there. Okay, so it can be number, but the thing is that what will happen when we're going to do like this, so it's kernel, so it will become the k by n. Comparatively, it will become the very less. Comparatively, it will become the very less. So they're going to dramatically more efficient. So CNN will have going to more efficient than the dense matrix multiplication in terms of the memory requirement, statistical efficiency. For example, like this is how things will look like here. Earlier, it was the bottom one, but we have a single black arrow indicate the use of central element matrix in the fully connected model. Like here also, it will go here also. One came here, second went here, here also, here also, here also. What's happening? It's a dense populated matrix multiplication. It will go. So what we'll do, like we'll take one here also, one. This can go here also. This can go here also. This can go here. This can go here. Like it's something we're trying to simplify. So again, the thing is that when we'll do the convolution, like, from the particular of the parameter sharing, causes to have the player property called equivalence to the translation. What do you mean by equivalence? Like once we have done this parameter sharing, so whatever the before sharing and after sharing, the property will be same. The to say function is going to equivalent means that input change to the output change in the same way. Like its pattern will be same. Whatever the input change will happen, the same thing will say same way going to change will happen to the what you can say output also. So now we'll come to the pooling. Pooling is something that we are going to do like to reduce the dimensionality. A typical layer conversion consists of the three stages that we have seen around, we'll see around here also. In the first stage, the three layer performs several convolution parallel to the produce a set of linear, that's a linear activation. Like it's going to create a feature map, and we'll be getting from the edges, picture and texture and all will be the second stage. Each linear that activation is run through the that learn that's called the non-linear activation function such that rectified the linear activation function. So this stage will say detect a stage. In the third stage, the polling function is to modify the output of the layer further. So again, I told like it can go like starting with the image, then convolutional layer, block one, polling happen again. Then it went to that. This will say linear activation at the unit. Again, it will go ReLU. Then again, it can go with the pooling. Then finally, it will go with the fully connected layer. Then classification output. It can go. So it's again how we are going to play with the architectures. It's very important. Like we have to play around or where to put our requirement. We can go around. So we can see around here input layer. Then if I'm transformation like its transform is happening, then it will go with the none that's called none linearity. That so again we can come to the polling stage. Then it's going to be again going to a next stage. So it's going to provide the translational invariance by the subsampling. We have the sample. We are going to take again subsample instead of going for the full. Reduce the switch. Reduce so that the size of the feature maps. Average pooling and the max pooling is going to commonly used. Pooling that is going to replace the output of the net of a certain location with a summary statistic of a nearby output. So what they are trying to do, like I'm trying from starting itself. So they have some that summary will be there. Instead of going with all, we'll take one. So they are going to give a certain location with a summary statistic of a nearby output and all. So that's how the things will work it out. So let's say the max polling operation report the maximum output within a rectangular that the neighborhood. And another what we have is the average polling, or that will say that L2 norms also. If you're going across with the CNN papers and all, I will suggest you like go with some papers and all that you will get idea like how the architecture will look like. After going to this lectures, that you can see around that how and actually that a paper they have made the architecture like for how many pollings they have taken, or maybe the architecture. Once we'll see the architecture like we have the this one, Renet like Lanet and all will be there. That will see around. So L2 norms of a neighborhood or rectangular neighborhood or weighted average based upon the distance from the center of pixel and all. So it's again similar way. Pooling it's something to reducing the size of the feature map and all. That's how the things will work it out. For one, it will come here, then 2 by 2 with the stride value of 2. Again, what is the stride value that also we see from. Then we'll see that how the things will look like here. This is the input image we have. Convolutional is there, and it can go. The input image will look like this. But what we'll do the pooling and the filtering we are going to apply. That's the we'll say k. K value can be the 9, 10, or it depends upon how things. So how the output came 2 by 2. So this is the how that CNN work actually. It was a complicated image. This is the edge we have taken out. For this edge, we have done taken the conversion block 1, 2, 3. So this is how the feature map is going to make it out. Like it's something like for each 64 by 64 or by 3 or maybe 128 by 128, something it came around. Then from the filter we have applied. Then we came up with the 2 by 2 and all. So in this also, this one that conversion, then we can see the pooling also. So then we can see this is the how the image will look like. RGB. Earlier it was some other color. So this is how things will look like and all. That's how that our that CNN is going to work it out and all. So we were having two pooling. That's one's called the max pooling and then average pooling will be there. So what we're doing 2 by 2 pool size. So then we take it 100 and then 184 for each. For each we have the 100, 184. Here we have the 12. Here we have the 45. Here we'll take the average. Like how we'll take the average and all, we'll take the all by 4. All by 4. All by 4. Then it will become like this. So again, once you do the solve the problem or once you're going to do the work on the data, so you have to so that you have to see around. which pooling we have to use it out. Either you have to, that you're going for the max pooling or you're going with the pools like that's the average pooling. So again, where to go, which one? We'll see around like once we'll go with the training part or maybe that our transfer learning and all in the coming classes. You see how it will go. Original that is the image is there. What they're trying to do that they're trying to get the maximum intensity or so that the maximum pixel will be there. So that's how the max pooling will look like. Average pooling, like this is the original image will be there. No, it's the original image. So this is going to max pooling. This is going to that average pooling. This is going to min pooling. So here we have seen only two pooling. Two pooling like it's either the max or we have seen around the average pooling. Even we can go with the mean pooling also. In this also, what we have the zero will be there. So let's say it will become zero. It will become 38 and this will be same and 7 to 45 6 of this will do. So this will become the mean pooling 2 by 2 full size. So this is how the things or the in the picture will look like once you'll go and you can just try. You take any random picture. Let's say you take you have some 4 to 5 bottles are there and you just tell like okay I'll take one picture, two picture, three picture, four picture, and that picture you just feed it to the CNN model. I'll tell you like this coming to the next class like I'll take some data, random data, and I'll be going to the CNN. Like we have that statistical and machine learning toolbox will be there. So we'll go and we'll define our that learning rate or maybe that activation or kernel also, or we'll see which architecture will go with that. Then we'll play around. Then we'll go into classify whether how the things will look like. So the classify that evaluation matrix will be again with the accuracy, or maybe it can be with the R1 precision and all. So in all cases, pooling helps to make the representation become approximately invariant to the similar translation of the input. Like I told, like they are going to that the pooling is actually making what? So they are going to invariant to the small translation. Invariance to translation means what if we translate the input by a small amount, the value of the most of the pooled output does not change. So means what will happen? We were having very high like size was there. Then we came across with the small pooling. Then again once it went back and then it came output. So whatever the input we made change, so that output will not going to much change. Like if we translate input by a small amount, the value of the most of the pulled output does not change also. That is the invariance to a local translator can be very useful property. Like that we have seen around like it's going to be what will happen? They're going to reduce the computational time and all. So I'll see some examples. Let's say I'm going to like determine an image contain a face. We need not to know the location of the eyes with the pixel perfect electricity. We just need to know there is an eye left side of the face and eye on the right side of the face. In other context, it is more important presently within the feature. So it's something I'm saying like it's we don't want to know the location, but we are saying there is eye is there, but we'll give the texture or we'll give the shape or maybe that locations and all that we can get directly with the help of the kernels and all. Let's say we want to find a corner defined by a two edge mid at a specific orientation. So we need to preserve the location edge will enough to test whether they meet or not. So it's when we are going for the corner find out and all. So we'll go with the either one corner or either corner and all. We'll not go with this and all. So how the things will look like here just see around what we have. Input image is there 256 by 256 will be there. Then that we have a rectified, then the linear unit is there. Okay, so then we'll go with the output of the pooling with the four stride. Stride is something like we'll be taking one, two, three, four stride will be there. 64 by 64 and 64. Then again we'll go with the convolution, again pooling, then reshaping of the vector, then output of the matrix. Then we'll go with the output and all. All are same only thing that things will be changing with the with respect to the stride unit and all, or maybe that grid and all. So now we'll coming to the around how the things will look like stride. Stride is something they will do that the input is not just a grid of real value, rather it's a grid of vector value observation. So color image will be having the red, green, blue intensity at each pixel. In that ML CNN, it's like that multilinear that is CNN. Second layer is the output of the first layer, so which usually has the output of the many different convolutions at the each position. So in that case, we have to simplify that one. So a stride. So we use a stride of the two convolution with a stride into the two implemented at a single operation. But they are trying to do convolution with the stride greater than one pixel mathematical equivalent to the convolution with the stride full by. It they try to do the downsampling and all. Downsampling like we have taken for the x1 that will to the x2 and then xt it went to the s1 s2. So it's something that we are going to take like will not take feature from the all but we're going to take from the only two the style in two is there or maybe the style line three is there so we'll take the three then we are having the zero padding and all I told like when we'll come across that any of the pooling this type and all so this is our main things was there main tensor was there but what happened that some feature that might have lie on this our edges and all so what happens we are going to do the padding. Padding can be like it's going to without zero padding we are forced to choose between the single specific extent of the network by rapidly using the small kernel both scenario that the significantly limit the expressive power limit. So it's going to be like make like so we do not use implicit zero padding. This causes the representation of the shift by the pixel at each layer. But the thing is that we are adding the five implicit zero to each layer will prevent the representation from the single with the depth and all. What we try to do, we are let's say 4 by 3 km. So what we do, we are going to put the zero zero, it will become the 4 by 4 and all. So they will try to do the they will try to do what balancing. Padding is nothing, it's going to balance or either to conserve the feature or to preserve the feature down. Sometimes what will happen is not going to be like our that the output of the pooling it came same. It came 3 by 4 or 5 by 4, 3 by 4. So what we'll do the padding. We'll going to make balance one and then we'll go ahead with the our problems now. So again, when more is there, we have the tiled collection. Tiled collection, any idea? Tiled is something we are going to amplify it. Amplification of the like things can be done. So then we'll be having the volume convolution like when when we're having that height, width, and depth. RGB will be there. K filter m by n into 3 takes a 3D volume of the number. Output will be again 3D volume of the number only. So what is the size actually? Size will be the size of the input feature map. Whatever we are going to give, we have some input with kernel. Then we have the convolution block 1, convolution block 2. Then it will become the like size with the size of the input feature mapping. Then kernel size, and it's going to depends upon the stride also, zero padding also, kernel size also, and then size of the input feature map also. Padded convolution, like it's something that we are going to put the zero to make like it's something uh like sophisticated way. Why? If you see around, if we do the 3 by 3 here, it will go again here, so it will not going to make sense. Like it's not, it will go out of that to cover up 1, 2, 3. So it will make here now. So now we'll come across the various types of the data type is there. Data type that we have used the single channel 1D, and that is 1D. 1D is the audio waveform. The axis we have evolved over the correspond to the time. So in that we are going to discretize time, measure the amplitude of the waveform amongst the same. So in that sort multi-channel will be there. So a skeletal animation data will be there. A skeleton animation data will be there. So in that 3D computer rendered will be there. So for the CNN, that the output can be 1D 2D, 3D. In that also we'll be having a single channel, then the multiple channel. And 2D also we have a single channel that the audio data has been processed with the Fourier transform and all. Then we'll have the multiple channel also. It's something will be going to red pixel, green pixel, and then blue pixel will be there. Then we have the volumetric data. Like it's in the going to medical image such as CT scan and all will be there. Or maybe the color video data, one axis correct correspond to time, one to the height, video frame, and then width of the frame will be there. So now we'll come to the what is the types of the convolution. Convolution like we have the one type is the convolution like it's called the naive convolution. Then we have the dilated one. We have the transposed one. So naive classic like it's going to naive one. It's going to be something like a building block with the convolution that network with the kernel size of h size, stride SW or SH, and then padding. So it's going to be like the dimension of the output feature map is governed by the parameter. Like it's going to be like O. It's going to be IW minus KW plus 2p, IH and all that will come there. So it will look increase the convolution with the stride of 2. So here we are not doing the padding and all. Then we have the dilated one. Technique used to increase the receptive field in a convolution. Like we are going to increase the here we were trying to do we were trying to do the 3 by 3 or 2 by 2 or something, but here we can go with the additional parameter that can be increase the receptive field. It's a connectivity and all. The result rate varied to the resultant feature map is visualize the larger area. And 3 by 3 conversion with the direction rate of 2 visualize same area as the nave of the 5 by 5 convolution. It's a extension like nave base was there, nave convolution was there. So it's extension of what we can say nave. It becomes the dilated one. Will have the 9 parameters now. So it's also called atros convolution now. So we'll see around. That's what like I'm just trying to say like how what are the convolution that we are having and all. Just for a minute. Anyone try to add or someone is there? So we'll see around. Okay, so we'll come across the like dilated one kernel with the with the zero appropriately to the C larger respective that the respective field. What they have done 3 by 3 convolution direction rate of 2 receptive field is similar to the 5 by 5 naive field. Like how it will come that also will if you are going to open it up with the 3 by 3 convolution and then the result that rate you apply, so we'll get the 5 by 5 matrix for the similar one. Then what we have the transpose one. Transpose one is actually they are going to aid in increase size of the output feature map. It's in this is just to visualize one, but here it's going to be like giving the 3 by 3 kernel are there and the image input image padded there, so that is there 2 by 2. So what we'll be getting, we are going to get the 5 by 5 output sample. So in this case, like we are going to use the encoder decoder network to increase the spatial dimension of the feature map. Like we are going to increase the spatial dimensions. Like we are going to increase that 3 dimensions features map and all. So it's going to like reconstruct the original spatial. Like if you come across the self-supervised learning, so we'll see what we'll be giving whatever data they'll try to first reconstruct. Then we'll come to the picture, and then they will give the what is the efficacy of that the what you can say reconstructions and all. So the input image is appropriately padded. Like we have to pad it before convolution operation and all. So in so transpose that we all know that it's going to like say for the matrix 1, 2, 3 was there. So A was there. So what happened? A transpose become 1, 2, 3. So we have to do the padding. It was a 3 by 1, like 1 by 3 was there. Now it become 3 by 1. So this is how it takes it's going by the way. So now we'll see the CNN architecture. Can anyone tell like architecture? Just 1 minute. Its architecture is something very basic architecture that we have, and this was actually that we have used image, let's say 32 by 32, that may change. So in this, we are going to use the convolution like 5 by 5. 5 by 5, like it's a something, it becomes a 28 by 28 in 6, and then pooling will be there 2 by 2. Again, 5 by 5, the convolution will become again 2 by 2 pooling. Then again, it will be so then overall become the fully connected layer of 84. And then output will be the like some 10 output will be there for the particular case. So based on the there are the multiple conversion and average pooling layer in the limit, and this actually was done for for the digit identification. Okay, so this was done for the digit identification that in starting time. Then what we have that LXNet. LXNet is something again different types of the architecture. So in that will be having two will be there. One, it can become the 227 by 227 also to just to match this 55 by that is 55. So for this, what we have the stride rate of 4, and then conversion of the 11 by 11. Then the polling will be 3 by 3, and again we'll be doing with the convolution, then pooling, again convolution, then pooling will come. Then the fully connected layer, fully connected layer, then it becomes the output and all. So either we can do one more thing. Instead of going with the one fully connected layer, that we can just divide like this and then either that way. So it will become the 2048, 2048, 2048, and the, both all will be pooling like it in the between that will be same, you know. Then what we have that VGG. VGG is actually like they have done with the one essentially like it was done in that seminar Jesserman for the 2014 competition and all. It's going to be 16 convolutional layer with the 3 by 3 kernel. Like we'll be having only 3 by 3 kernel, but the 16 convolutional layer will be there. So that design opted by the author are similar to the LXZ, increase the number of the feature map conversion at the depth of the network increase. So what we're trying to do, we are going to increase the feature map. The kernel will be the same. So 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, then 4, 1, 4, 3. So it's something, it became 16, 1. So that's why it's named VGG 16, and then we were having the VGG that 19 also. So means it's going to increase the our conversion layer also. So we can see how this is the picture was there. This is going to be a grid again, and then again it's going to be max pooling. 1, 2, 3. Then what we have the fully connected layer. Then we can come across here. So then we have that Google name inception model. Inception model is something they will try to do like as number of what we can say like the conversation layer will be there. In that also we can see around inception 1, inception 2. It was started with the convention 1, max pooling, convention and max pooling. Then we had came across the inception 1, 2. Then it reduced to the 14 by 14. It was the 112. It became 56 by 56. Again, it became 50 because that after max pooling, it became 56 by 192. Then again, we have 28 by 28 by 192, 28 by 28 by 256. Again, 28 by 28, 480. Then from there, we are going to max pooling the 14 by 14, the size become. So that's how that we are going to reduce the size. Then finally, it came to the 757 So average will become 1024. Then it become the dropout of that. Like we'll be having this like what you can say loss function there.
Here is inception different from convolution.
Inception is like it's a form of convolutional only. The thing is that we are just changing the name of like just see here input image are there convolution 1, 2. Then it's going to inception 3A, 3B, and then the marks pool. Like it's something the convolution itself. We have divided into the two parts 3A, 3B. It's the same, but it's with the different name. We divided into the some sub producer sub producer convolution. But we can't term the sub convolution, so it's came the inception. Is it?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, same way that we'll go with that this and then once it came, just see, will one max pool again came. It came to the max pool, then 3A, 3B, then it came across. Then slowly they try to decrease this that the dimensions, but the output like that. So then it becomes so dropout of the 40%. Then the fully connected layer that what we came across with the 1024. Then you apply the softmax function. It can be atom optimizer and all. Then we'll come across the output function now. So this architecture, it's a one form of the architecture that once we'll solve the problems and all. When we'll go for the our like problems and all. So we'll be seeing like okay which architecture we should go for that. Either we go with the uh, LaneNet and all, or maybe this ImageNet and all, or the Google, just so that the Google, so that the net and all. It depends upon the what types of the images that we have. So if we talk about like how the strat size and all that we can see around. So inception and all, we can see that operation it will happen in terms of the million. 3A is there. Output size will be 28 by 26, 256. And then first convolution, and it will become the again second one, third one. Then parameter is somewhere it's coming 159K. So this actually once we'll go with that our books, and that's Godfather one book is there that we can go around. Just 1 minute, which book was there? No, Goodfellow. So you just go to that. They have explained very nicely in that and all. Then if you saw like how that composition is going to happen in the inception also, that we can see also around it. Max pool 20 by 192. So then it becomes 3 by 3, like that the pooling are there, like composition is there. 192 by 128. So it's going to multiply 3 by 3, 28 by 28, 192 by 128. It's something that's going to 173 million. So this slides and all, I'll keep it in that folder and all that you can go around and check it out. Then what we have one more is there. It's going to be a residual network, and this actually people are using going to use that mm, mm, that more frequently. So the observe with the network depth increasing, accuracy will get saturated. So to to improve the so this one what they try to do, like they will try to like to find out the gradient of the flow, thus making the training possible. Like what will happen after some certain time, that the so that the training will get saturated and all. Because what we're trying to do, we are trying to get number of sample, and then it becomes the parameter, then operator will become that much, so it will become saturated. So we'll try to get training error and test error on C for 10. C for 10 again, that we have to see around one that the model is there. 20 layer with the 56 layer network, and it will go deeper network has a higher training error and thus the test error. So this just follow this paper actually. So they have explained very beautiful this one, and how it went for the residual that um, network and all. So it if you talk about that the name of it, so that the limit came in the 1998, developed by the Lucent. Type 4% that we don't have. Its the parameter is something we have the 6,000. So what happens is that the accuracy somewhere comparatively it was less as compared to the that the others. Then in 2014, 12 that the Alex Krivetsky came, that the top 5% accuracy somewhere around 50.3% is something again it's a bit of high compared to the what we have for the other models. In that, if you see the parameter, we have the 60 million. So that's why if you run the CNN in the our what you can say casual laptops and all, it will going to take much more time compared to the what we have the GPU based and all. Then we came across with the VGG. It came into the 2015. So it was done with the Simoan and 7.3. That accuracy, like what happened, it's got decreased. Like its error got decreased and all. In that parameter is 138 million. So means that storage we need more, or maybe the data we need more and all. Then we came across with the residual net. What happened? They're trying to come up with the that the error is less, but the thing is that we have the data also less. So it's a optimal model as such that we have. People are doing some more work on this area. So if we go to the recent literature that we can come across now. One more what we have is the density is the like densely connected to the connection network. In that where as the signal become deep, they're harder to train due to the vanishing gradient. What happened? Like that was so they have done this thing with the residual net and all. Like they have find out the changes or maybe the error and all. So creating short path from the early that the layer to the layer to help train the deep network and all. So once we'll try to find out like where it going to there's a gradient is zero. So they'll try to find out the short path for that. Connect all layer directly with the each other network with the L layer with the have L connection. So they'll be having the L into L plus one by two connections. So this is the one more that the extension of what we can say ResNet will be there. So now, based upon this, we'll be solving some problems. Like it's some theoretical based only. We don't have much of that the numerical in this. Next class, once we'll go with the training parameters and all, it will be the more numerical which comes into the pictures now. So we'll go with one first one. Can you just tell what is the primary motivation for the using CNN over traditional artificial for the image recognition now? I think we have discussed for the more than half and 1.5 hour that CNN what does it have they have the input and all. Can anyone tell the answer for this?
We,
So it's going to be only because the CNN computer is simpler than ANN. No, it's the complex, not the simpler because we'll be having multiple that the layer units of the max pooling and all. What they're trying so CNN automatically learn that the relevant feature and exploit the special structure in the image. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. See, ANN cannot handle large data set. That's correct only, but the thing is that that is not the only reason that the people are using the CNN. CNN always achieve higher accuracy than ANN regardless of data set. No, not correct. So if you see the so CNN are preferred over the ANN. So it's going to be recognized because of they automatically learn the special hierarchy of the features, like maybe the edges, texture, shape. So this they're going to eliminate the manual feature extraction. So in the ANN, we have to give the manual feature. And it's improved the efficiency by reducing the parameter through the weight sharing, local receptive field, making CNN for the more scalable for the image processing. So second option is the correct option. What about second one? What about second one?
reduce the spatial size of the feature and provide translational invariance.
Yeah. Actually, they have given the already answer for this also. Like, where the first is the map function of the pooling. So that the null linearity will going to done with the that's called ReLU. And to reduce the spatial size of the feature maps, to reduce it's done with the maximum pooling. And this is done for the depth of the feature map convolution, connecting all the neurons in the flickering layer. It's become the fully connected layers now. So so this is the second will be the correct option.
Mm.
What about the third one? Describe the concept of the parameter sharing in the CNN. What are the benefit of this?
Maybe C.
Yeah, so like if I'll go with the first option, each in that the neuron has own unique set of it, I like the neuron to become more powerful. No, it's the that N and what they're trying to do. So this can't be the answer. All the neurons share its activation to every layer in the neuron. allowing better flow. That they are doing, but not like for the same like the filter and all. So that can't be the option. The same filter will see around. Will see around. Allow, allowing with the better flow. The thing is that we'll go with that strong argument. Same filter is used across the different region of the input, reducing the number of parameters, allowing the model to learn especially invariant feature. This is having more that so what you say strong argument compared to the what we have the second one. Only important difference are selected for the next set of the layer, reducing the relative feature. No, they will not do like this. So this will be the more correct answer. So this is the option. This also because they're not talking about the that the before and after it become the invariant or not. So for the third one, so that the answer will be third, like C. What about the fourth one? Which of the following statement describe the main purpose of the transport convolution and its typical use? Transport, what they're trying to do, they are trying to increase the size of the feature map for the unsampling. Again, to reduce the size of the acquisition for the better computational cost, it's typically used in CNN. No, it's the function of the pooling to act as a particular regularization method and make the model more robust. It's not purpose of the transport convolution. It's the purpose of what we can say loss function or objective function. Then after what we have to increase the size of the feature map, improve the stability. It's generally used in the generative. No, they'll not do for the GAN and all. They'll be going for the image segmentation. Generative adversarial that the network is something that we have different models out there. So that can be the again that the not answer. To increase the size of the feature map, unsampling, not the sampling one. It is used in the encoder decoder network for a task like that the image segmentation. So that transport will they will doing for the unsampling and for the image one. So which is the following correct description of the significance of the one by one convolution used in the inception model of the Google Net? Just go through that words. Let's see. Which will be the option? One by one it's actually going to use for forward. Allowing the nonlinear activation, no. Will be again it's going to be like fully connected layers that can't be here. Allowing to reduce the dimension of the feature maps, which create the compression bottleneck, reduce the that can be act as a new no regularization. Again, it's not going to work it out. Allow the concatenate with the prior layer and create a better that the performance is actually for the density. So that the second option will be the correct option. So in the inception module, are you to reduce the dimension of the feature map, acting as a that the block what is a bottleneck to decrease the cost and preserving the good feature. So we'll come to the sixth one. What is the vanishing gradient problem in the deep neural network? What is that? We have seen around. When the value activation is not enough, the network is not no. When the initial data of the two copies no. When the activation is too high, the gradient tends to zero, not able to learn. No, because activation is high means that the feature intensity we have already. As the network become very deep, yeah. When we are going to deep network, gradient become very small, difficult to propagate, resulting in the difficulty in the optimization. So that is the what we have seen around in that residual network problem. Okay, so I think this is sixth one. Seventh one, what we have, will be having which of the following most directly explain the how DenseNet architecture facilitates implicit deep conversation. So I'll tell for the DenseNet, actually they're trying to do the concatenate of the preceding feature at the each layer. They're not going to shorter path for the this is actually for the RESTnet, and that escape connection to the input layer. That's again image net will be there. Like we are going to create the not even net. It's a RESTnet only because we are going to like finding out the shorter path for that. Dedicated auxiliary classifier for the each layer, not like this. So it's going to concatenate the preceding feature maps at the each layer. Consider a CNN with an input of the input what we have 64 by 64 by 20 with a filter 16 filter of size 33 by 3 what including the bias term of the each filter. The bias term we all know that it's 1. How many parameters does this contain layer contain? Can anyone solve it? So what we have it's like each filter 3 by 3 by 20. So input height, input width, and this is going to be input channel and plus one bias term. So parameter for per filter will be 3 by 3 into 20 plus 1. How much came? 339 plus 20 plus 1, it came 181. How much what we have? 16 filter are there. So it become 16 into 181. So it came around 2896. But we have the size of the filter, but we have 3 by 3. And with the channel, how much we have? We have total channel of 20. Input channel 64 by 64 of 20. Then what we have the 60 filter. So total parameter will be there 3 by 3 from 20 plus 1, 181. Then what we have 16 as such filter, what we have 16 filter is there. So it becomes the number parameter will become 2896. 9. 8 by 8 activation output function is there. We have activation in output of the convolution layer is going to be 1024 size fully connected layer. If the fully connected layer is going to replace with the convolution layer, what will be the number of feature maps and their size? Can anyone tell how it will look like? If you see around, so if you're going to replace fully connected layer with the one by one CNN layer with the spatial dimension of 8 by 8. So while transforming the depth, it will become the 256 to 104. So then that 256 what we have, so it's going to become the 1026, 1024. Then the last question what we have, it's what is the shape, output shape of the transport line with the input 32, 64, 16, 16 with the kernel size of 3 by 3, stride is equal to 2, padding 0. So for that what we have the formula is there, h out, h input, height input minus 1 into s stride plus kernel, w out like it's width of the output, width of the input minus 1 plus s into k. So we know that 16 is the height and width. Stride is the 2, kernel is the 3 by 3. So it's going to be 16 minus 1 into 2 plus 3, 33, 33. So it became how much? 32, 64, 16 by 16, like 33, 33. So I think that's all for today. Next class will go with the actual that we have to learn trainings of the CNN and all that we'll see around. Till now we have discussed about the CNN operations. and we have seen what we can say architectures and all. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you so much. Like we'll go ahead with it.
Thank you, sir.